Good evening, I'm Matt McCoy. Thanks for being with us. We begin tonight with sad news out of Marengo County, where a family of 8 was killed in a plane crash. Those details in tonight's top story. According to Holly Baker with the Federal Aviation Administration, the crash happened at approximately 6:30 last night, but Baker says that wreckage was found early this morning. According to the Marengo County Coroner's Office, the plane was on its way from St. Louis, Missouri to Destin, Florida on a trip to their family reunion. According to the family's lawyer, the crash killed 2 adults and 6 children. Here you're looking at a picture of the family taken 2 years ago after the youngest child was born. Here's a list of those victims. According to their family lawyer, Father Fred Teutenberg and Mother Teresa, 2-year-old Emma, 4-year-old Peyton, 6-year-old Ellie, 8-year-old Brendan, 10-year-old Will, and 17-year-old Ashley Brewer. The cause of the crash is under investigation by the National Transportation Safety Board. According to the Tuscaloosa Fire and Rescue, a fire destroyed 2 units at the Moonwinks Motel in Alberta City. According to officials, the fire happened around 1:30 this morning. Travis Parker with the Tuscaloosa Fire and Rescue says the fire started in an empty building behind the Moonwinks before spreading to 2 units at the motel. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. In tonight's Crime Watch, one man is behind bars after deputies responded to a domestic disturbance call. According to the Tuscaloosa Sheriff's Department, 29-year-old Robert Lee Pickett Jr. was arrested and charged with receiving stolen property and domestic violence menacing. According to officials, it happened on the 1400 block of Crescent Ridge Road today. The case is under investigation and more charges could be forthcoming. Pickett is being held at the Tuscaloosa County Jail on a $21,000 bond. Moving along, one local organization is providing cancer patients with the faith to heal. While going through breast cancer treatment, Kathy Watson thought up the idea behind the Bigger C Encourager support group. Today, the group held their 3rd meeting where people heard from guest speakers and individual testimonies. The group aims to provide cancer patients with support to aid in spiritual recovery as well as physical and emotional recovery. Watson tells WVUA that while cancer can be scary, it's important to keep thinking positively.
It was when I heard the word, I turned to my husband and I said, I don't know what God's going to do good with this, but he's going to do something good. And that was kind of, it was an immediate thought that I had, but it carried me through my entire journey. And I kept looking for something good. And to me, the ministry is really the good that came out of my cancer.
The group's next support meeting will be held in October. In the aftermath of the April 27 storms, people across Alabama have amazing stories of loss, survival, and resilience. Now, we've heard many of those stories, but there are lots more out there to share, and we want to hear from you. If you have a storm-related story you would like to share, go to our website, WVUATV.com, and click on the graphic on the right side of our homepage that says Alabama Tornadoes. We'd also like to see the photos and videos you shot after the storm. Some churches around the state are hoping to some redemption from the civil rights era, but by publicly opposing Alabama's new immigration law. Some see it as a chance to redeem past acts of not publicly opposing Jim Crow laws. Now that Alabama has passed what is widely considered the nation's most restrictive immigration law, churches and faith-based organizations are leading strong opposition to the act. Birmingham Methodist pastor Matt Lacey says if his church takes redemption seriously, then it must consider past sins of the church, not just the worshipers. Alabama's suicide rate is at the highest point since 1960. According to the Department of Public Health, in 2009, there were 14.2 suicides per 100,000 people in the state. Now that's above the national average, which at the time was 11.9. Health officials say several factors, including high unemployment and gun use, contributed to the state's increase. They say in 2005, rates climbed when hurricanes struck the Gulf Coast. Officials say they don't know that with that effect, if any, the spring tornadoes will have on Alabama's suicide rate. In tonight's Money Watch, will political leaders be able to reach a deficit reduction deal in a matter of just a few weeks? As President Barack Obama prepares to meet with congressional leaders, Democrats and Republicans are digging in to promote their positions on the issue. Barbara Hall takes a closer look at what this means for the federal debt ceiling.
The clock is ticking away on Capitol Hill as political leaders posture over how to reduce the nation's budget deficit. This is the issue that could imperil their ability to raise the debt ceiling before the August 2nd deadline for avoiding default.
If we had a leader who was out telling the American public the truth as to what the nature of the problem is, we could get Democrats to go along with bigger spending cuts than they are now.
I also want to have full clarity about where House Democrats stand. We do not support cuts in benefits for Social Security and Medicare.
Republicans are resisting proposals to eliminate tax breaks for corporations or tax cuts for the very wealthy as a means to increase revenues for government coffers.
I'm tired of the gimmicks, I'm tired of the budget tricks and the accounting tricks that goes forward. This has to be an honest approach. We are not losing jobs because our credit card didn't have a higher limit. We are losing our jobs because we are spending too much.
But President Obama says there is one thing that both sides agree on: getting the fiscal house in order.
We agreed that to do that, both sides are going to have to step outside of their comfort zones and make some political sacrifices.
The president's negotiations with congressional leaders resume Sunday night. Barbara Hall, WVUA News.
Don't expect to see gas prices go down any more for now. This coming from a survey published today. The Lumberg survey found that that two-month drop in gasoline prices across the country has stopped due to the steadying oil crude prices. The survey shows the average price of a gallon of regular gasoline is $3.62. Now that's down just a penny over the past 2 weeks. According to GasBuddy.com, Alabama's average is $3.49. All eyes were on the skies in Pensacola Saturday. Thousands packed Pensacola Beach for the famous Blue Angels Air Show. The Navy's Ace Flying Squad performed to an appreciative hometown crowd with nearly an hour of daring stunts. Early morning storms threatened the event, but passed quickly, allowing the event to take off as planned. Larger crowds were expected for today's show.